What if silence could be heard? What if the universe could hear your thoughts, even when you said nothing? Today's story isn't about words. It's about the silent language that hides between them, where science dissolves into mystery, and every paused moment whispers a deeper truth. I'm Eve, and you're watching Tales by Eve, where the stories are different and the truths are unbelievable. In this episode, we dive deep into a strange but very real scientific idea, where silence is just as powerful as sound, and the vacuum of space might not be as silent as it seems. A forgotten study? A cosmic vibration? And the haunting question, are you really alone? Chapter 1. The Sound of Silence. Have you ever heard complete silence? No, it's not just the absence of noise. It's a place where there are no sounds, but there is a feeling, where a strange hum rings inside your ears. Even though no one said a word, no one screamed, yet somehow you heard something. And from that very moment, the first question is born, is silence really empty? We all know that sound needs a medium to travel, air, water, metal. But in outer space, there is no air. And yet, NASA's space probe suggests space is not silent. In fact, it hums with a mysterious vibration. So, the question is how? What kind of sound is that? Who is listening to whom? In 1977, NASA launched a spacecraft, Voyager 1. Along with it, they sent the Golden Record, a disc carrying Earth's pictures, languages, music, even human voices. But why? For whom? Who will listen to our songs if there's no one out there? Scientists know that sound doesn't travel through space. Still, they believe information does. Like code, like vibration, like a silent message. And some scientists go further. They believe silence itself is a language. Like when we understand someone is hurting, even if they say nothing, how is that possible? Have you ever paused suddenly and thought, is someone reading my mind? I didn't say a word, so how did they know? Does that mean we don't only speak with words, but also through silence? That's when the real question arises, is silence a kind of communication? And if so, who's listening to that silent speech? A researcher named Luc Montagnier, a Nobel laureate, claimed that DNA emits electromagnetic waves that carry messages, even though they make no sound. This means our body, mind, thoughts all have a silent vibration that speaks, that spreads, that some can understand. Even the universe itself. If you're sitting alone right now and you feel, my heart feels heavy, is that just a mental state? No. Maybe you've tapped into that silent vibration that has been speaking all along. Do we communicate through sound? Or is truth hidden in the silence between? The answer lies in those silent moments where tears well up in your eyes, but no one cries. Where your chest aches, but no one says a word. And yet someone, somehow, hears it all. A door that once opened leads into a whole new world. A silent world where every question becomes a vibration, and every answer a silent sound. A question so powerful, it stirs a storm inside your mind, even in complete silence. Chapter 2. The Silent Message of Space. Who is sending signals across space? And why are we not listening? What if I told you When you look up at the night sky, those tiny lights, those stars, they're not just shining, they're speaking. Not with mouths, not with voices, not with sound. And yet, they're sending signals messages you can't understand, but your body does. Back in 1967, a strange signal was detected. A small star-like object pulsing repeatedly, at a fixed frequency. Scientists were terrified. They named it LGM-1, Little Green Men. Aliens? Eventually, it turned out to be a pulsar neutron star spinning in perfect rhythm, sending out signals like a cosmic heartbeat. But the question remained, why was the signal so precise? Why did it feel intentional? To this day, science doesn't know if we're alone in the universe. But organizations like ByEve, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, are listening, scanning millions of signals from space every single day. No one seems to be talking, and yet, the messages keep coming. But to whom? And for what? If there are billions of galaxies, is Earth really the only home to conscious life? So many trillions of stars, so many planets, so much silence, and yet in all that stillness, is someone searching for us? Or is it us, who haven't evolved enough to understand their messages yet? And here's another question. Have you ever paused and thought to yourself, something feels strange today? It's like someone is speaking inside my head. What is that? Just your imagination? Or an echo of a cosmic transmission? Did you know some scientists believe that just like we think, so do they? No language, no words, just vibration, just frequency, just silent energy. And maybe, just maybe, they're looking at us whispering, "We are here. Can you hear us?" But the greatest truth is this: we're not listening. Because we're too loud, too caught up in our own noise. So much so that the quiet call of the universe never reaches us. So I ask you, are you ready to hear it? The message hidden deep inside the silence of space. Because this is no longer just a story. It may already be resonating inside your mind, every day, every moment. Chapter 3. The Memory of Water. Dr. Emoto's mysterious experiment. Can water remember emotions? And if so, is it listening to you right now? Imagine you look at a glass of water and say, "You are beautiful." Then you look at another glass of water and say, "You're disgusting." Now, both glasses are frozen into ice. And under a microscope, the ice crystals are examined. The result? The first glass forms a stunning, flawless, diamond-like symmetric crystal. And the second? It forms a twisted, chaotic, ugly shape, as if it's the image of a wounded soul. This unbelievable experiment was conducted by Japanese scientist Dr. Masaru Emoto. He believed water doesn't just carry, water feels. Water remembers. He tested how water reacted to different sounds, words, music, and even prayers. Saying "thank you" formed breathtaking crystals. Saying "you disgust me" produced horrifying distortions. He even played Mozart to some water. The result? Pure beauty, like art. And to other samples, he played destructive metal music. The result? Shattered, broken chaos. Now think about this. Your body is 70% water. How do you speak to yourself all day long? What do you make yourself hear? "I'm a failure. I'm worthless. I can't do anything right. Are you destroying every cell in your body, little by little, every day? But what if you said, I am love. I am light. I can do it. Then what? Are you reshaping yourself from within? Are you giving new life to the 70% water that is your body? Is this just science? Or is this the edge of science and spirituality, where we begin to understand ourselves in a whole new way? Many mocked Dr. Emoto's research. Many doubted it. But one question remains. Why are we so afraid? If water truly can feel? Because then every river, every ocean, every drop of rain isn't just a thing. It's a memory. It's a listener. So, what are you saying today? Because it's not just the outer world that hears your inner world is listening too. And if water can feel, then maybe everything in this universe can. Are you saying love? Or darkness? Chapter 4. Vision is what you see, even real. Is your vision a window to reality, or a carefully crafted illusion by your brain? Let's begin, did you know? Your eyes receive about 10 million pieces of information every day. Light enters, shadows fall, colors awaken, and you think, I'm seeing. But the question is, are you really seeing? Or is your brain simply guessing? A small example. Imagine you're standing next to your friend. You both witness the same accident and more, at the same place, at the same time. Yet later, you both tell two different stories. Why? Because your eyes only take in light. The rest, your brain creates. Your brain is constantly using past experiences, fears, desires, and beliefs to construct a version of reality. What you're seeing is actually a dream your brain is making for you. Scientists call this predictive coding. It means your brain interprets what you see based on what you believe. That's why the same scene can look like love to one person and fear to another. Let's say you love someone. You see their smile, their eyes, their warmth. Someone else might see them as calculating, cold, or unpredictable. Because even though your eyes are the same, your internal maps are completely different. So, the real question is, have you ever truly seen yourself? Or is the mirror you look into just a reflection built from 1,000 years of fear, conditioning, society, and mistakes? Is there something beyond what the eyes can see? Can you see dark matter? No. But it still exists. Not to your eyes, but to your consciousness. Did you know? There are colors on Earth that humans can't even perceive. Like ultraviolet, infrared birds can see them. But you can't. So, are you blind? Or is your eye choosing what to hide from you? That's why they say the worst kind of blindness is seeing without understanding. So, the next time you look at someone, ask your eyes, are you showing me the truth? Or just your version of a story? Because this story is now peeling back the layers of human awareness. And once it begins, you can't stop. Chapter 5. The weight of words. Can what you say hurt the light? Can words change your body? Can a voice break or build your soul? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine someone yells at you. You're nothing. What happens inside your chest? Suddenly your throat goes dry. Your hands tremble. Your heartbeat spikes. It feels like someone stabbed your chest, but there's no blood. That's the power of words. Dr. Masaru Emoto, a Japanese researcher, conducted a fascinating experiment on. He exposed water to different words and phrases. Sometimes he said, "You are beautiful." Other times, "I hate you." Then he froze the water and examined the snowflakes under a microscope. The result? Positive words created crystals that were perfect, symmetrical, like diamonds. Negative words created broken, distorted, and ugly patterns. Now imagine this. Your body is 70% water. So what happens when you throw hateful words at someone? They don't just feel hurt, their very structure begins to change. Because words aren't just sound. Words carry light. They create vibrations, and those vibrations pierce through the soul. That's why a single sentence from a teacher can shape your entire future. And one careless remark from a mother can silence a child for a lifetime. Words are not just sweet or harsh. Words can heal, or they can become weapons. If you keep saying to yourself, "I'm not good enough, I can't do this," that vibration can slowly destroy your DNA. But if you say, "I am light, I can, I am enough," new cells begin to grow inside your body cells full of potential. The truth is, what you say doesn't just disappear into the air. It shapes your future. So be careful. What you speak, you become. Time's deception. Is time really passing? Or are you just running away from yourself? Is time slipping away? Or are you slipping away from your own truth? This story, once it begins, there's no stopping. Thank you. Now, let's continue. Chapter 6. Time's deception. Is time really passing? Or are you running from yourself? Is time slipping away? Or are you slipping away from yourself? The clock ticks forward. Minutes, hours, days, years, everything seems to be moving ahead, and we're constantly running behind it. But stop for a second and ask yourself, is time really moving? Or are you running away from your own existence? Today you said, "I don't have time." You said it yesterday too. You'll say it again tomorrow. But is there truly no time? Or have you simply lost your attention, your presence? Modern science now tells us time is constant. But our experience of time, that's an illusion crafted by the brain. The same 1 minute in fear, it feels like an hour. In love, it vanishes in a second. When someone stands face to face with death, they often say their entire life flashes before their eyes in a blink. Memories don't follow time. The mind doesn't care about hours or calendars. It only understands feeling, a unit of experience. No clock can ever measure. One day, a scientist asked, "Why do we age?" One theory said, "We don't get destroyed by time. We get shattered by change." And it's that change, those moments we can't absorb, that slowly break us. So the question is, are we victims of time? Or prisoners of our own thoughts? If you could just stop time for a moment and dive deep inside yourself, you would see you are the secret behind time. Time doesn't control you. If you choose, you can control time. The future? It doesn't exist. Because when it comes, it will simply be now. So everything is here. Everything is now. See with your eyes, but understand with your heart. Time doesn't move. We do. Into the womb of darkness. Why is darkness the rule of the universe and light the rare miracle? If the stars can hear, is the universe listening too? Ready to begin the next chapter? Chapter 7. The shadow of sound and the roar of silence. We hear sound with our ears, but have you ever wondered? Can silence scream too? Science says sound is a vibration, but some vibrations are so slow, so silent, that our ears cannot detect them. These sounds don't disappear. They linger in the air, in the walls, in the water, even in your body. So where do these unheard sounds go? Imagine this. You scream inside a room. No one hears it. But does that mean it's gone? Known, a quantum level. That vibration still echoes within the particles of that space. Even unheard sounds cast a shadow. They leave behind a trace. Some studies suggest that walls, wood, even water, can memorize sound for a while, at least. So, when you stand still in a room, the objects around you might still carry the memory of your words. Here comes a deeper question. If sound exists, but no one hears it, is it real? And if someone cries silently, if grief trembles inside, without a voice, does the earth feel that vibration? Every day this world listens to billions of sounds, not just those that are spoken. A mother's silent worry, a child's quiet disappointment, unspoken words whispered in prayer. All of them are vibrations. Each one a wave. Each one proof that silence itself is a language. Modern physics says the universe is a vibrational field. Not just Earth, the entire cosmos is a song. We simply hear a fraction of it. Just like light, sound has both a visible and invisible side. And that invisible side is the sound of silence. When you lie awake at night and feel the silence pressing, maybe it's the echo of the past, or the whisper of something yet to come. Maybe that quiet roar is saying, I am here. Listen, I am silent. But that doesn't mean I don't exist. Chapter 8. The cry that floats through the cosmos. Imagine this, you scream into space. No one is there, no air, just a silent void. Does your cry disappear forever? No, my friend. Nothing ever truly vanishes. In 1977, NASA launched 2 golden records into space, the Voyager Golden Records. On them were etched the languages of Earth, music, a baby's cry, even the sound of a human breath. Think about it. Those golden discs are still floating out there, sailing through the stars. And if some unknown life form or distant civilization finds them one day, they'll hear us. Our voices, our love, even our sorrow. A single child's cry has been echoing through the cosmos for over 47 years. This is the miraculous beauty of science love. Grief, faith, they all become sound. They all ripple through the fabric of existence. You may feel like your tears are invisible, like no one sees them, no one understands. But do you know water remembers? Dr. Masaru Emoto's research showed that water responds to emotion. When words of love were spoken to a glass of water, its crystals formed beautifully. But when hatred was spoken, the crystals became distorted and broken. Now remember, your body is 70% water. Your emotions, your pain, your prayers, all of them resonate inside you. Every silent cry leaves an imprint, not just in your heart, but across the universe. Even space itself, that so-called emptiness, is now believed to be a quantum field. Which means, when you fall into sujud in the dead of night and whisper a silent prayer, that vibration is not lost. It travels. Maybe it waits, somewhere in the corners of time and light. So ask yourself, are you truly silent? Or are you a cosmic song in human form? Is your prayer just reaching out to the heavens? Or is it also trying to reach back to you? Still, we say, no one knows how much pain I'm in. But brother, you are wrong. The water knows. The wind knows. The light knows. Even this universe knows. Because maybe one day, that very cry will return, as a message from the stars. It will break through the silence of space and declare, I was in pain, but I was never lost. I am still here. Chapter 9. The future that's already happened. You are reading this right now. This moment is your present. But the question is, what exactly is this present? Modern physics tells us time doesn't really exist. Instead, time is an illusion, a habit we've accepted to make sense of everything moving in order. But the truth is even more unsettling. The future has already happened. In 1905, Einstein said that time and space are not separate things. They are woven together, like a single sheet called space-time. You are sitting at one corner of this sheet right now. But somewhere else on that same sheet, your tomorrow, your death, your success or failure, boom, all already exist. You are simply walking through it, but can't see it yet. This concept is known as the block universe theory. It says you are on a train that's moving along tracks, but those tracks were laid long ago. Your thoughts, your decisions, everything was already set on those rails. So, you might ask, does that mean I have no control? No, friend. Here lies the greatest mystery. Quantum physics says you're actually sitting in thousands of possible futures all at once. Every thought, every prayer, every tear you shed is knocking on the door of a different future. You might not realize it, but a small wish, a tiny act of love, even a single tear can change the course of time itself. Someone who never sheds a tear has never truly looked towards the future. Because the future is like a mirror, it reflects back what you think and move toward accordingly. So ask yourself, which future are you walking towards? Is your train headed into darkness or toward a sea filled with light? You might say, but the future is not in my hands. Yet both science and the Qur'an say, destiny is a door. And when destiny changes, the flow of the stream changes as well. Finally, a word to remember. The life you imagine might already have happened somewhere, long ago. Your job now is simply to find it. Because, my friend, the future doesn't wait, it calls out to you. This will be the most mysterious chapter where the title The Sound of Silence comes from. In this chapter, we will learn how silence itself can be the most powerful message. The sound of silence. How the universe might be listening. Chapter 10. The sound of silence. How the universe might be listening. Shall we dive now into the deepest chapter of this story? Can you hear it? Right now. What you call silence may actually be hiding an unimaginably powerful message. The silence, it's not an empty void like the sky. No, it's the real language. The language spoken by water, by light, by the universe, and even by your own soul. Think for a moment. When you break down, when the tears won't come, when your voice disappears, that's when you enter a cosmic frequency. In that frequency, your sorrow, your sacrifices, your love all begin to vibrate in silent waves. Scientists call these waves scalar waves. They travel straight into the structural memory of water, just like Dr. Masaru Emoto once said, water understands words. And those words are often silence. When you hurt someone, even if you say nothing, the water around you understands. When you hold back tears for someone, every cell in your body knows their name. And when you make a prayer for someone, the silent vibration of your heart shatters the walls of time. Because that prayer, it's not just a word. It's a quantum signal. That's why there are people we can never forget. Not because they were just with us, but because they were recorded in the sound of silence within our hearts. Do you know, when you stand in prayer, the vibration your heart creates travels beyond time and space? Yes, brother, a prayer is never truly silent. It leaves an imprint on the walls of the universe. Now think, you say so many things, yet the greatest things happen only in silence. A mother silently gazing at her child. A father quietly waking up early to cook rice for his children. A person in prayer suddenly shedding a tear. None of these are silence. They are the unspoken language of the cosmos. Let me leave you with this. The sound of silence is not silent. It's a door. And if you open it, you'll hear how light speaks and how tears reply. But this chapter doesn't end here. This is where it begins, your true relationship with the universe. But before that, what have we really learned from this story? Chapter 11. The sound within the silence. Where nothing exists, everything lives. The sound of silence. How the universe might be listening. Pause for a moment. Close your eyes. No sound. Total stillness. Silence. Complete and absolute. But is this emptiness truly empty? We often think, where there is no sound, there is nothing. But through the eyes of science, silence is never nothing. In fact, silence often carries the most powerful message, a language that speaks without words. When astronomers point their telescopes into space, they're not always searching for sound. They search for vibrations. They look for background radiation, for those invisible ripples that travel from the depths of time, whispering, I was, I am, I will be. A temperature, a void, a sliver of stillness within that. The entire history of the universe is quietly stored. Science tells us the universe began with a tremendous explosion, the Big Bang. And the sound of that Big Bang still drifts across the cosmic silence, echoing as the cosmic microwave background. Isn't it strange? Where sound has stopped, that's exactly where we find the oldest messages of all. So here's the real question. If silence can carry memory, are we constantly forgetting the language in which we were created? When you're alone, truly alone, no noise, no distractions, do you really hear nothing? Or is that the moment your inner universe begins to speak? Maybe that's why the poet Rumi once said, silence is the language of God, All else is poor translation. Then could it be that what we call quiet is actually the most articulate voice of nature? Listen. Listen with your whole being. Because where there is nothing, everything is hiding. The whispering particles, the atoms that speak, the silence that listens. This is the sound of silence. How the universe might be listening. Chapter 12. The whispering particles, whose silence speaks. The sound of silence. How the universe might be listening. They are small, incredibly small. So tiny that you can't see them, can't touch them, yet they exist. They spin, they move, they vibrate. These particles, atoms, electrons, neutrons, quarks, gluons, are among the most fundamental elements of existence. They make no sound, no cry, no language. And yet, they speak. How? When you listen to someone speak, you're not really hearing sound. You're hearing vibration. Those vibrations strike your ears, and your brain decodes their meaning. In the same way, these tiny particles are constantly engaged in an endless conversation. They shake, they collide, they merge, they drift apart. Every motion, every fluctuation is a kind of language, a kind of message. Even when you're sitting silently in a quiet room, those particles around you are still speaking. Not just scientists, poets have felt this hum too. Rabindranath Tagore once wrote, "Everything happens in silence, quietly, in unknown light." This isn't just poetry. This is a kind of truth. Because these whispering particles, they shape who you are, where you'll go, and how you'll live. When we say particle, we often think of matter. But these aren't just bits of matter. They are carriers of memory, guardians of time, and narrators of the universe. When you drink water, you're not just drinking liquid. You're absorbing particles that were once dust drifting through galaxies. They carry a past. They carry stories. So perhaps we must say, particles don't just exist, they remember. Their silent memory, their unspoken language might one day tell us who we are, where we came from, and why we still feel their sorrow. Because yes, water knows the truth. As Dr. Masaru Emoto's experiments showed us, water reflects not just emotion, but the very echo of the soul. So now, let us begin the final journey. The sound of silence, how the universe might be listening. Chapter 13. Water knows the truth. When even water holds memory. The sound of silence, how the universe might be listening. Water, the most ordinary, yet the most mysterious element. We all know that water is life. But how many of us know that water also remembers? Dr. Masaru Emoto, a Japanese researcher, believed that water isn't just a chemical compound. It's a receiver, capable of absorbing human emotions, words, even thoughts. He conducted a strange and fascinating experiment. On one bottle of water he wrote the word love. On another he wrote hate. Then he froze both samples into ice. Under a microscope, something extraordinary was revealed. The ice crystals from the love bottle were beautiful, symmetrical, and diamond-like in structure. But the ones from the hate bottle were broken, chaotic, and distorted. Unbelievable, isn't it? But that's not the end. Dr. Emoto claimed, water listens, water even feels. When someone recites a prayer over water, Not only does it bring spiritual peace, but the molecular structure of that water actually changes. In other words, kindness, love, dua, and positive speech, they all carry vibrations. And water hears those vibrations. It understands that language. Water is not just H2O. It is something far more profound, a carrier of the soul, a silent listener, one that absorbs your sorrow, your joy, even your repentance. Strange, isn't it? Now think, if water is that sensitive, then what about the words we speak every day? Our inner thoughts? The emotional atmosphere we live in? How are all of these affecting the molecules of water inside our bodies? How are they shaping every single cell, every single vibration within us? Yes. You can change the water inside your body just by changing your words and your intentions. And right here begins the doorway to a deeper truth. The divine code, when words become creation. Shall we begin? Chapter 14. The Divine Code. When sound becomes creation. When Allah said, "Be," and it was. Was it just a word? No, it was a vibration, a divine frequency, a command that shaped time, matter, light, and darkness itself. In Surah Yasin, the Qur'an says, His command is only when He intends a thing that He says to it, "Be," and it is. Surah Yasin, Ayah 82. Within that single word, "be," lies the mystery of all creation. Sound is not merely noise. Sound is energy. Sound is a signal. Your prayers, your voice, even your silent tears, each carries a frequency. You may not hear it, but the universe does. And this is where science begins to bow. Today, quantum physics tells us, even a vacuum, a space thought to be completely empty, is not truly empty. It is filled with quantum fields, constantly vibrating, alive with invisible motion. Even when you say nothing, your presence, your being, ripples through it. So when you speak, the universe listens. And even when you're silent, your heart's intention, your neuronal signals, your soul's yearning, all of it resonates in one way or another through this cosmos. Maybe that's why, when a person cries out sincerely from the heart, "Ya Allah," it feels as if the entire sky goes still. You may not have seen it. You may not have heard it. But the sky heard you. Because here lies the secret of sound. What can create, can surely hear. So what you speak, what you think, what you pray for is not just held within you. It is recorded in the very architecture of the universe. This is the divine code, through which it was said, "Be," and light came into existence. Next chapter, the memory of the universe, when the cosmos doesn't forget. Chapter 15, the memory of the universe, when the cosmos doesn't forget. What you say doesn't vanish into the air. What you think, the universe doesn't forget. What you do, it's written on the walls of time. We've all heard words like these. But now, know this, these aren't just poetic sayings. They are reality. Science now tells us, information never truly dies. Even an electron that passed through your body for a millisecond encodes that experience into the fabric of the universe. A word, a tear, a prayer. All of it gets stored in the invisible database of the cosmos. Stephen Hawking once said, "Even black holes don't destroy information, they only scramble it." What does that mean? You may disappear. You may die. Your words may vanish into the wind, but you are never lost. You remain. Every word you've spoken, every thought you've had, every prayer you've whispered is being recorded in a cosmic recorder. You may not see it. You may not hear it. But it is silently shaping the path of your destiny. Even in the Qur'an, it is written. Reckoners are sitting to the right and to the left, watching everything you do. Surah Kahf, Ayat 17, 18. Is this metaphor? No. This is the silent truth you witness every day but fail to recognize. When a person cries, there's salt in the tears, but also waves of pain. And those frequencies, they are absorbed into the memory of the universe. When a mother silently prays, its echo spreads across the deepest layers of the stars. This universe sees. It hears. It remembers. Even when you're silent, your soul still speaks. Even when you hide, your existence leaves footprints. And one day, when you've forgotten everything, the universe will still remember. Because the universe never forgets. It waits, it listens, it whispers back. This was the final chapter, but perhaps the real questions begin now. What are you thinking? Does the universe know? What is your heart saying? Is it being heard? Are you ready to accept the truth? Maybe what we cannot see is the closest truth of all. Every prayer, every tear, every act of love, the universe hears. This isn't just science, it is faith. This was Tales by Eve, where silence speaks and the universe listens.